All right, good morning. We are in turbo mode. We have a cook's line that she's done. Compressor's cooked. So we got a new unit right there. The new unit has its own sight glass, its own dryer. So I'm gonna repipe this. Well, I mean not repipe it, but I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna cut this here, and I'm gonna put a new piping width out to where I need it. Just because there's no sense in keeping this old. If I got to cut the dryer out, which I do because I don't trust it to not be, become a restriction in the future, I'm going to retorch it anyway. I'm not going to use this crap. So we're just going to cut it here, and then I'll get a new section of pipe torched on. So we transfer the tracks over to the new one. So I use this hose hauler bag. So I've got two. I've got one for all my extra hoses, and then I've got one for. I don't use a whole lot of copper. I don't do a whole lot of installs. I just don't have to. It's not that I choose not to. I'm not doing a lot of installs these days. Well, these days I am, but previous to this last month, not so much. All right. So I had one of these sight glasses leak on me once from the factory, right around there. Always hesitant. I put pressure on it, so we torched our stubs in. Pull in my vacuum. I put the caps on and I tighten them when I pull a vacuum because I feel like pulling against that packing nut isn't a great idea. So we're gonna get the electrical wired in and get this box mounted. All right, not sure. Thought I was recording and then I looked down and I wasn't. All right, so pay no attention to the superheat because we don't have but we pulled a good vacuum on it, okay? I opened up, there's two different solenoids, and I opened them up so that we could draw our vacuum in the evaporator and in the cold rail, just to make sure we didn't have leaks in there, and we were good. So we worked our sight glass, so our sight glass is clear, okay? So it is 70 degrees in here. It's very nice and cold in this kitchen right now. So we're running slightly high suction, but my box was 80 degrees, so that's not surprising. This will work its way down so that we should be running at about 68 psi and a 28 degree coil. Somebody asked yesterday, and it's a great question, we don't talk about it enough, right? So when this restricts down to 60, this is going to be more like 28 psi, and then the question was, why isn't the coil just freezing? Well, the answer is it is. It absolutely is freezing, but we need a system running efficiently so that it satisfies, right? If we're putting out a 25 degree coil, putting out 28, 29 degree air, we should have no problem pulling this box to 34. At 34, the box is going to satisfy. It's not kicking back on until 38. So if you think about it, once the compression stops, the fans keep running, blowing air over that, what is starting to freeze coil. We're blowing 34 degree air over a 28 degree coil. They eventually meet at 34, and then we start driving the room temperature up. And when the room temperature hits 38, it means the coil temperature is 38. Ice doesn't live at 38. Bada bing, we're back on and running. Cooler air defrost. That's how they all need to run. The problem happens when you're not running a coil probe and you're running an air probe. So they're in and out, they're in and out, they're in and out, and the air maintains 36, 37, 39. My coil's 28, but they keep opening, closing. We got bad gaskets. We don't have self-closing doors. Whatever the situation is, then the unit's just going to run because that space is not going to meet its satisfaction point, and then the coil freezes up, and then it gets worse from there. So probe in the coil, managing coil temperatures, and then you should get an air defrost. If a system just runs all the time, you're gonna ice up. That's all there is to it. There's no defrost. People put defrosts in place. So there's a trick where you can put, it doesn't matter what kind of defrost, you can just pick a little refrigerator defrost, where you can interrupt the condensing unit. So say, hey man, every 4 hours, I just want you to stop freezing no matter what, and force a manual air defrost. Problem with that is, maybe your box is already at a temp and not frozen up, and then you drop out for 20 minutes. So it's not a food safety problem, like the food's gonna go bad, but it is a health department problem when they show up and go, oh boy, your box is 42 degrees, and we're still clear. Okay, this freezer has constantly got ice buildup just right here. So they're thinking that the door frame heater has failed. It's not. The reason it's not, all of this is warm and sweaty. If the door frame heater failed, it would be manifesting in more places than just that. Let's turn the lights off. Let's come in. I'm facing the fans. Now I'm facing the door. So the door does not close itself, even if you give it a running start. And if I pull it closed, all right, I went and I knocked the rest of the ice. There's a bunch of ice here on the door side. So I knocked most of that off. Okay. Close the door back up. Much better. Still got a spot at the bottom. Okay, well, this is the best I can do in the moment. I keep strip curtains, so I cut a little piece of a strip curtain to make the stopper for right here. Now I can't change the fact that it's not closing tight, but I can change the fact that it's not sucking air in this hole anymore. So now we're not drawing air in. We need to change to our hinges self-close. They actually do okay. So the real problem is just this guy. They lose their strength. Sometimes you can shim them out. I'm gonna go ahead and try while I'm here. So we'll order a new. So here's the walk-in cooler that they didn't let me change the compressor, and they used somebody else. They waited 2 weeks to get the compressor out of Florida, which is what it is. But here's some observations. Observation 1, sight glass, flashing. Observation 2, absolutely cooked. It's pure black. The dryer, absolutely cooked. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just showing you. Just showing you.
Okay.
Side note, I just had to go start a defrost because it's very frosted on the back. And so you can see, you can just see all of the humidity that's getting in this box, so that a defrost every 6 hours just ain't cutting it. It's just not cutting it.